Previously on Nord News, we announced that the Prescott School was named a National Blue Ribbon School. Only half of 1% of the schools in the country received this distinction. Let's get an update from Principal Brian Riley.
So this past week, myself, our head teacher and reading specialist Carol Thornton, and Nord Public Schools Superintendent Dave Thompson traveled to Washington, D.C. to accept our 2019 National Blue Ribbon Schools Award. We get down there on Thursday and had some networking with other schools, Blue Ribbon schools from around the country. Topics included best practices instruction, parent and family engagement, and how to create partnerships in the community. We then heard from great guest speakers, including U.S. Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos, the 2019 National Teacher of the Year, Rodney Robinson, and a state representative, student representative to the State Board in Maryland, all which were fantastic. We had a great time, collaborated with our colleagues from across the country, and received our award.
For Carol Thornton, a teacher at the Prescott for over 20 years, education has always been her passion.
So people will often ask you, especially as a teacher, what was it that made you decide to want to become a teacher? And for me, that's kind of a tricky question because I never really thought of any other occupation. For me, it was always teaching. From the time I was a little girl walking down the halls of Prescott School as a 5-year-old, four, we're actually 4 back then when we started kindergarten. I never entertained any other idea but to be a teacher, watching my teachers, going back to my Mrs. Perry days, my Miss McGuire days. I always knew that that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to have my own classroom, have children read with me, sit with me, call me Miss Johnson and then Mrs. Thornton. It's just what I always wanted to do, work with children, teach children, be a part of their lives, and maybe someday hope that when they leave and they think back, that one teacher that stood out to them, maybe it will be Miss Johnson or Mrs. Thornton.
When Thornton learned that the school she attended and still walks the hallways won the blue ribbon, it was extra special.
Well, at first, I almost couldn't believe it when we heard that we had won the award because it's such a highly acclaimed award for a school to receive. And so there was a little bit of disbelief. And then I had to step back and think, wait a minute, but we worked very hard for something like this. So I thought about all the collaboration with the teachers and the families and the leadership that's around this town. And I thought, okay, it does make sense. I think we worked hard to receive an award like this. So it was pretty exciting, but a little bit of disbelief as well.
After winning the award, Riley believes that the high quality of learning at the Prescott School will continue to excel.
Yeah, so now life after Blue Ribbon was actually one of the topics that we discussed at the conference last week. And I think what this does is set a standard for excellence that we're ready to not just meet, but to exceed. There's conversations already happening in and around our building of what our next steps are. How do we continue to push our students, push our staff to be the best they can be, and we're really excited about the next chapter of our journey.